This is Ben Doughty for Sugar, Silk and Stretch with Lawrence Pennyboy Okolie, the source. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you. Good to see you too.
So it's fair to say the Bridgerweight division hasn't really caught the public imagination yet, and clearly it wasn't a division you were inclined to stop off in for too long.
No, you know what, I was, but then as soon as I figured out that I have to cut 10 kilos to make it again, I thought to myself, I'm not doing that to myself again. Let's focus on heavyweight and performance.
So when people were saying you were struggling to make cruiserweight, what you're telling me today is you were struggling to make Bridgerweight 224 pounds as well.
Yeah, I'll struggle to get to 240 for this fight. I'm probably around 255, 255 right now, so I need to drop down to as close to 240 as I can for this one, because I want to be athletic. Right now I'm feeling strong, but I need to mix it in with a bit of the speed.
Is this a question of eating what you like as long as it's good solid food? Can you have what you fancy?
That's the problem, is that it's just when I can eat what I want, where now it's like, okay, you're doing too much of that, let's eat what you should eat. So yeah, now I'm back on the healthy foods and stuff like that. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what you said. Back in the Cruiserweight Championship days, you said it's a shame I can't have any of this food. I think it was probably African food. Yeah. Was that what it was that you were sacrificing?
Yeah, and now I don't have to sacrifice it. But you have to, it's everything in moderation now, because I have been able to eat what I want since my last fight. But then the problem is with that is you can end up overeating. So I need to, like I said, lean up, be athletic. I feel good in training, but I need to get to that. I need to, like I said, I need to put on a great performance, so I need to be at my optimum.
When you talk about being at your optimum and turning a good performance, how much does it bother you, the criticism that you've received in the past from fans online or even journalists who claim that your fights are dull and hard to watch? People talk about a notorious inability to fight on the inside. How much does it ever get to you when people criticise you in that way?
Not necessarily get to me. The only thing it gets to me is when it rings true to myself, and at times it has done. And I've been on a mission to not let it happen, but then, I do feel like with the extra weight, the extra surety, not having to drop so much weight, I can keep it explosive. Also, even on the inside and stuff like that, it's like I feel a lot more robust than I ever have done. Do you know what I mean? So,
what is it about the infighting thing? Because I'm sure every coach of any moderate ABA standard thinks I could teach Lawrence Okolie how to fight on the inside, or I'll show him Riddick Bowe, I'll show him Joe Fraser, I'll show him Joe Lewis. What has been the issue hitherto?
I think it's a mixture between application and also teaching, because I'm so good at keeping it long and so good, and like I said, you see me in the gym, people don't do what they do on fight day. What I've noticed on fight day, it's all or nothing, head down, bombing forwards, where in sparring people are a bit more like, okay, let me not rush in because I don't want to. So you get two different energies, and then even myself, I'm there 10-ounce gloves trying to land my hardest shots, where in sparring I'm more picking shots. So the two of them two combined, you end up inside, where I don't end up inside anywhere else. So that's why in this, with training with Joe and that, we do actual reps of being on the inside, or what to do when you're inside, to get back to being long. So it's repetitions, application.
One thing that's been the silver lining for you, no matter what kind of fights you've been in and what kind of criticism you've faced, is the power. You read it then, what I was going to say. You've always been a puncher. Will you still be that same vaunted puncher at heavyweight, though?
We're gonna find out. I believe so. I believe when I'm hitting the pads, I feel a lot more heavy-handed than I have done forever. But we're gonna wait and see. If I'm able to knock this guy out, I'll give myself another little notch. If I'm able to knock out a higher level, so it's just about going through the ranks.
Let's talk about your opponent, Hussein Muhammad. I believe he's a confident guy, he's a well-spoken guy, he's an undefeated guy who's got a decent KO percentage. So he feels he's certainly going to upset the apple cart, and I believe that he believes that.
I think he's a man with an ego, so he's not going to come here and say this, that, and other. And he's also looking at me, probably thinking he's just a cruiserweight that's moved up. So it's up to me to show it on the day, because there's nothing that he's going to say or I'm going to say that's going to change what's going to happen on the day. I just need to go in there and execute. But from what I've seen, it's remain to be seen in real life when we're actually fighting. But I'm gonna catch him.
Talk about the division at large. Is Anthony Joshua finished on the evidence of what we saw back in September?
No, definitely not. I think he's been a world champion twice. He's only 35, I believe. He's only 35, 34, 35 years old. Still fit, still conditioned. Was it a tough loss? Yeah, absolutely. But I think heavyweights do suffer tough losses and bounce back. I think that's the first time he's been properly stopped like that. So let's see.
He looked worryingly bad, though, without getting stuck on this particular issue. It was the technical frailties and the chin in the air and things like that, alarm bells.
I think it is. I think it can only be down to application, in my opinion. Where it's like he knows what to do. He's done it a million times before, but on the day he wasn't applying himself. Maybe paying attention to back in England, back in Wembley, Riyadh. I don't know what. I'm not in his head, but he's got the potential to obviously come back and do his thing. Yeah.
In any case, I struggle with the notion that was a world title fight for the obvious reasons that we saw the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship of the World conclude in May this year. Obviously, politics is what it is, and Usyk decided to jump before he was pushed, and he said, "You can have this belt. You guys can use that to sell your fight at Wembley." But I can only regard Alexander Usyk as the heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah, well, he's the main guy, isn't he? Then if Tyson Fury wins, Tyson Fury is the main guy. But you
that brings me to my next question.
Say again?
And that brings me to my next question.
Yeah, I think Tyson Fury is going to win. I think it's tough to bet against Usyk because he's been perfect from amateur to pro, Olympic gold medalist, undisputed cruiser, undisputed heavyweight, beaten all of the top heavyweights. Well, he's beaten Tyson, he's beaten AJ twice, beaten the other world champion, Dan Dubois. Despite it being semi-controversial, he beat him comfortably once we got past the controversy. And if he beats Tyson Fury again, it's like you gotta. Yeah, it's a tough one. I do think Tyson Fury's going to win, but it's hard to bet against Usyk.
Thanks for your prediction. I wish you the best of luck on December the 7th, and it's nice to see you again.
Cheers. Thank you.